Yo, what is up? Welcome to NinjaGeek Games. It's that time of year again where tabletop gamers from around the globe get very excited and congregate en masse at the NEC for the UK Games Expo 2024. A 3-day event consisting of demos, trading, live shows, podcasts and of course gaming. I get giddy for most conventions, but in particular UK Games Expo is a fan favourite. Here I get to meet up with legends of the tabletop community, greet new people as well as hang out and game with friends, and likely come back with a trunk load of games that I have to hide from the wife. And I've been practicing. No dear, this is a review copy. I got this one in a trade. This is a game I won in a raffle. She'll buy it. So, what are my plans for this year's event? Well, I have a playlist of demos I'm attending, publishers and designers booked in for a chat, as well as a 4-player game of Hegemony locked in with Luke Hector from the Broken Meeple. Yes, I know it's a beast and I'll have to endure Luke for quite a few hours, but the things we do for gaming. Anyway, in this video I'm going to do a Blitz overview of the 10 games that I'm most excited about this year. This will either be because I'm looking to purchase them or I've got a demo booked in as the games aren't released yet. Let's get started. At number 10, it's the first expansion to Heat Pedal to the Metal Heavy Rain. Although this has been available for a while, I've not yet had the chance to grab it. I'm a big fan of the base game and the expansion adds a new driver allowing up to 7 players to race. This is particularly important because there are 7 of my game group going to the convention. Coincidence? I think not. There are 2 new maps, Mexico and Japan, as well as upgrade cards that make use of Super Cool. Hey, that's also my nickname. This recovers heat from the discard pile instead of your hand. There are additional modules where drivers now pass through chicanes that are corners with 2 speed limits, meaning you could pay the price for speeding twice. There is also water on the track that forces you to spend heat to shift down gears, slippery when wet. But for me, it's the additional player that sold it. Now I'm just waiting for the 8th player expansion. Next up is Flames of Fafnir. I'm not entirely sure what this is. Is it a game or a weapon? Anyway, it's got dragons in it. This hits Kickstarter within the next month or so and I'm looking to demo this with Lucky Duck Games. From what I've seen, it looks like it has awesome table presence with this great hulking dragon aiming fireballs at the local village. I don't know too much about the gameplay, but it looks as though you need to gather resources and build the town defences as it gets blasted with dragonfire in the form of marbles. Apparently, Fanfear the dragon can alter the direction of the attack and even spawn beasts more hideous than the fire marbles. And what's worse than facing an ill-tempered dragon unprepared? Well, having one of your party of heroes abandon you all and decide to ride upon the back of the very beast that you were sworn to defeat. That's right, you can change sides. But don't worry, our brave heroes can claim ancient relics and artifacts to boost their stats, and I'm certainly looking forward to giving this a go. Oranges and Lemons is a 2 to 5 player worker placement game from Medusa Games. I had the pleasure of playing this at Essen with 3 of us and I'm intrigued to see what, if any, changes have been made and how this plays at the higher player count. Based on the nursery rhyme and set in 18th century London, each player starts the game with just 2 workers, but as the game progresses you have options to gain more. Here you take turns placing workers in one of 16 locations, but you don't take the action immediately. Instead, they're activated in numerical order after everyone is placed, and some actions can even be upgraded and modified if you can place bells on them. You'll gain resources throughout the game but can only hold what you have storage for, so you'll need to find ways of unlocking warehouse spaces on your player board. You can also take loans, risk putting money on the stock market and invest in the East India Trading Company. Here ship tiles are drawn and this affects stock and market share price and provides resources and gold that can be stored or sold. Oranges and Lemons also has a cool player order mechanic where turn order is based on the meeple placement locations from the previous turn. I thoroughly enjoyed playing this the first time and it has a nice Euro feel and I cannot wait to see how it's progressing. Galactic Cruise is recently funded on Kickstarter and is a beast of a game, building rockets, selling flights and luxurious vacations in a heavy Euro. I've played this once before with Paul Grogan and beat him. By luck, but a win's a win. And I've also got a demo booked in with him at the event. This game incorporates worker placement and engine building. You place workers to take 2 actions to claim blueprints for the craft, attract guests and build developments. You will then end up launching rockets, hoping to take guests on their preferred holiday destinations. I really enjoyed the development of your own player board where you could expand the level of your resources such as fuel and oxygen that in turn allowed you greater variability in action selection by forming clever links between worker spaces. There is a lot going on in this game, but everything just seemed to fall in place very smoothly. Normally games like this can be quite crunchy with lots of rule exceptions, but the game flowed very well and I picked it up quite quickly. It also has some great components with thick chunky pieces and was an absolute joy to play. I'll certainly be popping over to Hachette Board Games to take a look at From the Moon, and I'm really hoping this is available to buy. The game looks to have a ton of components with asymmetric factions, which is always a good start. There are no rounds in this game. Players just continually take turns that consist of one of 6 actions, such as sending your rover loaded with astronauts to the surface for resources. These astronauts can become specialists that gain unique bonuses to their actions that will change each game. You can construct on planets to earn mission tiles that provide points to the players once complete. Other actions include faction development, hiring more astronauts, allowing you to take additional rover actions and promote them to specialists. You can construct buildings and all of these cost you resources that you earn from previous turns, and it has a really nice engine building mechanic. I mean, this looks a very busy game where you can even get tech in the form of laboratory tiles that provide abilities and bonuses. This looks like a hidden gem as it's completely bypassed me and is well worth checking out. At number 5 is Windmill Valley from Board and Dice. I missed out on a UK Games Expo pre-order, and from those that brought us Nucleum, Windmill Valley promises to be much lighter. Here you represent a tulip farmer where you want to be the most successful entrepreneur, and the game boasts some very colourful and cool looking components. Each player takes a set of actions by rotating these cog-like dials on their player board, and this also advances the game when they make a full rotation. Your actions include lowering the water level of floodgates, enhancing your action cogs with tiles, claim helpers and contracts, and even build windmills on the farmland. These gain you victory points and other bonuses, and you can even sell off your tulip bulbs or plant them yourself. This looks to be a beautifully constructed game that won't burn the brain like its predecessor. At 4, it's Coffee Rush, and who doesn't like the smell of coffee in the morning? Well, people who don't like coffee, I suppose. Here, you and your opponents have decided to open up a coffee shop at the same time in the same town. Well, that's just bad planning. So, as a result, you need to ensure you complete as many coffee orders as possible. You'll need to move your barista around the board to collect ingredients that are stored in these little cups where you'll aim to fulfill your order if the ingredients match. This game seems fairly simplistic compared to the other games already discussed, but it's just eye-catching with great artwork, lovely components and a fun theme. Plus, I like coffee, a lot. I think this is one my family will enjoy over my gaming group. And now I've just thought of another excuse. No dear, this game is for your insert birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day or any other event. At number 3 we have Horror on the Orient Express that I need to get a demo of. As a huge fan of Cthulhu and campaign games, this is definitely one that will scratch that horror themed itch. As always, you take control of a cooperative group of investigators but on board a train, where I believe you traverse to another dimension. And what must you do? Well, gather clues of course by chatting with other passengers, carried out by drawing tokens from a bag. Succeed and you've gained the knowledge that you are after, fail and, well, nothing good's from failing in a Cthulhu game. Of course there are monsters to contend with, all getting more powerful as they take out the passengers. Each character comes with unique special abilities to help them along the way, but you'll need to ensure you manage your mental health, because if you go insane, there's no way off the train. I've been informed it's tough. Don't expect to win much or at all, so why bother playing? Because it's Cthulhu. At number 2 is Ironwood from Mindclash Games, and the first time I noticed this was from a great unboxing from Not Board Gaming. This is a tactical card game for 1 to 2 players and looks to sit in the lighter area of their games when compared to the likes of Anachrony or Voidfall. Ironwood goes to GameFam within the next week or so and is actually a pre-order system, so we're expecting a delivery later this year, so hopefully not a long wait. The game comes with 2 factions that are the Ironclad and Woodwalkers. They should have called it Cladwalkers. The land has a precious crystal-like resource that they're fighting over, and each faction utilises it for different purposes, either for fueling war mechs or for the magical power to summon a deity of sort. During play, each faction plays 3 cards that allow you to enter combat, gain resources and position warbands. For combat, cards look to have an attack and defence value where you can inflict casualties. The game is asymmetric, and I've also seen that even the components differ between factions, either being metal or wood, which is a nice touch, and each will have its own objective. The game can be played solo, which is a bonus, and I've already got a demo booked in. Lastly, we have Sand from Devere. The reason it's my number one is because its predecessor, The White Castle, was one of my favourite games in 2023. A fantastically surprising game in a tiny box that doesn't quite fit in all the components after punching. Moving on. I believe that Sand may be available at UK Games Expo, as most stores indicate a June release date for the UK. It's a pick up and deliver game, but looks to be quite involved with a 2-hour playtime where there are 6 rounds of trying to gain as much gold as possible. You are a desert traveller, Fremen, where you travel the paths of a vast and busy looking board and occasionally stop off at the local town or village. You will then get stuff, travel some more, drop it off and get rewarded for your honest work. Your trusty transportation is in the form of caterpillars that grow to make your actions more efficient. Has this theme been done before? Listen al-Gaib. We still have 1 or 2 3D cardboard components, large dual layered player boards and dice, so it's shaping up to be spicy. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Sand delivers because I was really impressed with the previous game, so this is currently my most sought after game for UK Games Expo. There you go, a Blitz overview of the games that I'm keen to either demo or claim as my own for UK Games Expo 2024. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you're going to the convention and see me, make sure to stop and say hello. I'm also looking to bring a few games of my own and would happily play them with you. All you have to do is ask. This is NinjaGeek Games. See you there.